I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.
Hello racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forrester. We're going to go through the Saturday, May the 19th races, and we do apologize last weekend.
Yes.
We're going to have sound this week.
New and improved. Handicapper's Corner this week with sound.
Yes, but people liked it without sound, actually.
Yeah,
a few complimented us. We thought we were pretty good without sound.
One of our more in-depth weeks.
We do have 7 races on the Saturday card. Of course, the big race of the afternoon will be in Baltimore, Maryland at Pimlico for the Preakness Stakes. See if Justify can continue on his trek to become a Triple Crown winner, bred by a man in British Columbia.
John Gunther, a good friend of ours here at the Derby Bar and Grill, regular here, of course, bred Justify and Vino Rosso. Justify now a perfect 4 for 4 after the Kentucky Derby, looking to carry that winning streak into the Preakness and hopefully keep our hopes alive for another Triple Crown this year.
But still, the Derby Bar and Grill is filling up with Derby Bar and Grill Derby stuff. We got the I'll Have Another. We got Mario, all Nyquist. We got Justify.
Now we got Justify.
This is great.
Well
named by the boss.
You want to win a Derby? This is where you come to.
Anyway, the first race on the Saturday program is for $16,000 non-threes, going 6.5 furlongs, just to field the 5 to kick off your early daily double and your early pick 4, early pick 3s. I ended up on the 2-horse Catch Me. I think you're going to have to catch me. Blinkers come on. Probably ran last time. I don't know why, but the horse
it didn't break great.
Definitely ran the worst race of his career.
Yeah.
Could have been the slop. Yeah. Could have been a few things, but the blinkers go on. Good work, obviously in blinkers in 1 minute and 1/5 last weekend, and I think Catch Me will show a little more speed like he did last year. There is no speed in this race. You look up and down. Who's going to get the lead in here? And I just see the 2 Catch Me getting the lead. So I'm going to try him to defeat the 5 Access This, who has a great resume. Of course, second in the Alberta Derby back at Grand Prairie a couple of years back, but he hasn't been seen in a while.
Run in a couple of years,
He's been on the missing list, but his work tab's been good for Phil Hall and Peter Redekop. I put this one in for second, but could easily, obviously, win the race for fun. And I put the 3 Good As They Get for Mel Snow, Mel and Fran. Non-threat last time. That was just the first kick of the cat. Almost another one, sloppy track. Maybe didn't care for the conditions. If you look last year, his first try on the slop, it was dreadful, and then came back and won. So I mean, this horse, and we're not getting any slop this weekend. We're getting a fast track. So Good As They Get should be considered as well. I went 253.
Fast track here. They're talking though could be a sloppy track in Maryland.
Yes, I know. It's been
didn't bother Justify in the Derby. We'll see how he does in the Preakness. I got the same top 2 as you. I just flip-flopped to my now. I think those are the 2 you really have to like in this race. Are Catch Me. I went to Access This. I just think he has more talent. I was really disappointed in Catch Me's race last time. I could see him coming back with a better effort. But for that reason, I'm going to give the edge to Access This. Way better resume. Has been off for a while, as Mike mentioned, but his work has very good. And Phil Hall has good stats with horses coming back off a layoff. Access This over Catch Me. I threw in Master You, and I thought that was a good race. First off the bench this year, it seemed to run much better as a 4-year-old than he did as a 3-year-old. So he does have some upside, as you mentioned. First race, went to the league. Yeah, I know. Rob Maben batting 31%. Way to go, Rob Maben. So I threw him in for third. 5-2-1 for me in the first. On to the second. Fillies and Mares claiming 4,000, going 6.5 furlongs. This is a non-winners of the year or non-4 condition. Field of 6. I went to the 3 here, Hippie, recently claimed by Greg Tracy. I thought she had 2 good races so far this year. A third behind Zanita Rose and Halloween Queen. Halloween Queen got the better of her last time. She ran second. Scott Williams now rides for Greg Tracy. Greg Tracy has great stats coming off the claim. So I'm going to go Hippie over PG Star out of the John Snow Barn. Perfect 4 for 4 last year. She just rolled right through the year. Never missed a beat, 4 for 4. I'm hoping she can keep it rolling and at least get second. I got her in the second spot. I threw in Queen of Barney, who was third behind Hippie last time. I got 3-2-1. I did leave out Shayla's Rose. I know Mike likes Shayla's Rose, but I'm going to play a wait and see with her because she can be a bit of a handful at the gate whatnot. So I'm going to watch her once, but I did go 3-2-1.
Yeah, I did. As you mentioned, I did go to Shayla's Rose. She's every bit as good as all of these fillies and mares, and I just think she's going to get a good pace to run out. I think that the 2, 3, and 4 all have speed, and I think Shayla's Rose could get a good trip just in behind them. Work Tub's been excellent for Teddy Hurt, who's always had the horse, and seeing Savachi back in the tack, and I just thought a good trip from an outside post might get the horse the money. I'm not saying the horse is going to be big odds, maybe 4-1.
It's going to be 3-4-1, yeah.
But I agree, PG Star, flawless last year, won all 4 of her starts. How can you fault her? Gets to run protected because that last race she was available for claiming for 4,000 in the HPPA claiming championship. Work has been good, so she's live, and so is Hippie. I agree. Moves to the Greg Tracy barn, and lots to like about Hippie. I agree, but I went 6-2-3 in race number 2. On to the third race, $16,000 purse. It's an on-2 lifetime with 3-year-old fillies going 6.5 furlongs. I landed on the 6 under par. I just think this horse is going to get the lead from her outside gate. Pretty quick. I know Charmin went with Here's Hannah last time, but I don't know if she really wants to do that every time, but we'll see. But under par, I thought was very good behind, stakes winner Raider, and her work time's been excellent. The barn's been going well. Mark Cluche only missed the board on one of his 9 trips to the post. So I thought under par was worth a look over the 4 first summer, who I thought deserved another chance. First up run, I know it lost to a Charmant in Phoenix, but then came back and ran here in the Ross McLeod. Had the rail, got in behind horses. I know it was a closer track. It says on paper there, that's what the red or the black mark with the C, was a closer favoring track. But still, this horse wants to be near the pace, not that far back. I think she's better than her last race shows, and she may be a good play at a 6 or 8-1. And I put the 5 horse Tiptoe in for third. Sky's the limit for the daughter of Tis Wonderful. She looked great winning and could win right back. I can see it happening, but and could be a good pace to help her out. I went 6, 4, and 5, but I didn't love this race at all. I left a Charmin out, which is probably a huge mistake, but I just thought the bottom 3 were interesting.
Yeah, I got different horses pretty much. It shows you how competitive this race is in just a 6-horse field. I did go to Tiptoe. I think it's going to be something for her to run at, and I was really impressed with that first race. She didn't have an easy trip, and ended up winning fairly comfortably, and I think there's a lot of upside there. So I'm going back to Tiptoe. Amadeo Perez, obviously, as well, had other options in here, and he sticks with Tiptoe. A Charmin, I thought absolutely got cooked in her first start here at Hastings. 21-4, 45. That was too much for her against Here's Hannah and Gigi John and Raider and the 3-year-old filly stake. Now in this race, I think she fits well. Phil Hall is starting to come to life. He's batting 29% now. Charmin went in second. I threw in Lookout Taylor. Mike Anderson's got 2 in here. I threw in Lookout Taylor, who looked comfortable winning her first start of the year. By far the best race of her career. It seems to have matured nicely into a 3-year-old. This daughter of Gallego got a 45 bar, so I threw her in for third under David Lopez. 5, 1, and 3 for me. In the third, on to the fourth, fillies and mares, 4,000, 9 words to 2 lifetime, going 6.5 furlongs. Field of 8 in here. And I did go to the 4th, Swagger Cat. Good second last time behind Seagold. Came up and just caught her at the wire. She was trying to catch Seagold, I should say. Only got beat a half length. Dennis Arrojo, what a weekend he had last weekend, winning 6 races, 2 on Saturday,
leading rider,
4 on Sunday. I'm going to go right back to Swagger Cat for Milton Palma. Swagger Cat for me on top of Gold Girl. Those 2 are pretty interchangeable. Those are the 2 I really like in here. Those would be the 2 I have in the early pick 3s or pick 4s or whatnot. Gold Girl's very live in here as well. She was just a length and a half behind Swagger Cat last time. I think it's those 2. And after that, pick 1. I looked at Proudly Nosed. I'm going to go to Perry Ann. Rob Maben's going great right now. She was in that same race, just a neck behind Gold Girl last time, so I'll throw Perry Ann in. 4, 3, 6.
Yeah, I have the same horses pretty much. I put Gold Girl on top. Did have to battle with the eventual winner, Seagold. Ended up costing her second money, but still, I thought ran a very good race first time out. I think she'll be better second time out. No other speed in the race. I think she gets the lead. It's going to be pretty dangerous. Swagger Cat. Ran a good race, sat behind the speed, and popped out and got second, and ran a good race. Had a nice trip. Everything was perfect for Swagger Cat, and if it is again, she can win the money. And I put the 2-horse Proudly Noticed, who didn't get the best of trips at all. It was wide.
That was the one I looked at.
Did run second first time out to Total Defense, who's I liked later on the card.
Yeah.
And proudly noticed I thought just was a compromised 5th last time and might be worth following back. I went 3, 4, and 2 in race number 4 to kick off the late pick 4. On to the 5th race, maiden $4,000 fillies and mares going 6.5 furlongs. The 10 horse, it's hard to get past the 10, Crafty Memory. You know, 2 decent efforts for far more money. Reduces down to the $4,000 claiming level. Dennis Arrojo re-rides for Hall of Famer Dave Forster, and I just think this horse has found a spot where this, you know, it's got to be really tough to, you know, to lose the race. Crafty Memory is the horse to beat. But the 5 horse Bama in for second. I know ran 3rd last time, but I just think there's going to be more action up front. You got Champagne Waltz, who didn't break well, but Future Games goes, Velociraptor and Crafty Memory. I just think a lot of, and the 6 Wild Top Cat. I thought there's going to be 3 or 4 horses out there, and Bama should get a good pace to run at. Second time out might be a little bit better. I put Bama in for second, and I put the 9 Velociraptor, who I liked last time, had every shot to win, get outrun by Palace Green, but that was for 8, down for 4 now. She too is in a little easier spot, but unlucky to hook into a horse like Crafty Memory on the outside. I went 10, 5, and 9. I
don't have a lot to add. Crafty Memory obviously looks like a best bet of the day type candidate. Not crazy the fact that she's in the 10 hole, but if she can go back to the way she ran 2 races back at that 16, she should be obviously a handful in here. Velociraptor ran into Palace Green, as you mentioned last time. Palace Green was a very well-manned horse coming up from Phoenix, and figured to be a handful, and she was. Velociraptor did good to run second to her. And I threw in a first-time starter in fine fashion, daughter of Old Fashioned, who at one point was a favorite for the Kentucky Derby many moons ago, just got nosed out in the Arkansas Derby. That was his last race of his career. But he's thrown some nice horses out of a live barn for Mike Anderson, Scott William rides. I went 10, 9, and 3 in the 5th. On to the 6th, 8,000, non-3 for 3 and up. Colts and Geldings going 6.5 furlongs, field of 7 in here, and Imposing Cat looks to be tough in here. Just a good second behind Always Sunny for 16 last time. Now he's in for 8. Got a 68 buyer last time. Another
crush.
Yeah,
these horses.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be quite a handful for these ones to handle. Another best bet of the day kind of for me. I love Crafty Memory and Imposing Cat back to back. Threw Martello in for second. Pat Jarvis is having a good meet. He wasn't, what was he, 4 lengths behind Imposing Cat. That could be good enough to be the rest, best of the rest in here. And as I mentioned, Pat Jarvis off to a good start. Yeah. 7, 2, and 2. Martello in for second. And I threw in Texas Kid. He's out of a condition here. He's a 4-year-old. He's a non-2, but man, absolutely destroyed a field of maiden 4,000s last time, winning by 9, and definitely a horse who's matured well into a 4-year-old for Hall of Fame trainer Frank Barabee. 4, 6, and 1 for me.
Yeah, I have the same too. Imposing Cat looks tough to get by. I mean, this horse is, I don't know how it can lose, but I guess it, you know,
they can all lose.
They can all lose.
We've proven that.
Yes, we're picking them, so could lose.
That could do it.
But Imposing Cat looks like an imposing presence. Martello. That horse also dropping from 16,000 down to the 8. This horse is live. I think if Imposing Cat doesn't win, I agree with your Montello. And I put the 2 horse Presidential Bird in for that. A little different one for 3rd. I went 4, 6, and 2 in race number 6. And on to the 7th and final, $4,000 fillies and mares, non-3 lifetime. Once again, going to another Glenn Todd heavy choice in here. Yeah. The 2 Total Defense look great, winning a non-2. Surfaces for the non-3. No speed in this race. She's going to get the lead again. I don't know how she can lose.
But no, she's got distance.
But these aren't the most reliable horses. I mean, she does have some clunkers in there last year. But you know, she looked very good.
Go with her, but I don't think she wants to go as fast as her.
No. But Total Defense looks great. 3 horse Storm Cruiser for me for second. A lot of good races early last year. I thought her best races were her first 4 or 5 races, which is a good sign. This is one of her first 4 or 5 races before she started to tail off a bit. Her work tab's been excellent for Keith Peterson, who's off to a good start. No wins yet, but they've all run well.
Yeah.
And Storm Cruiser is live in here, and I put the 7 horse Seagold in for 3rd. 2, 3, 7.
Don't have a lot to add. Total Defense, another one of Glenn Todd's. Looks like a handful. He's off to a great start. Him and Aaron Grider firing on all cylinders right now. Total Defense, I just switched your bomb too. I went to Seagold second. Thought a very good race in her opener and a non-2. Pretty comfortably on the lead. Held on under Richard Hamill and through Storm Cruiser. As you mentioned, Keith Peterson's horses off to a good start. I went 2, 7, and 3.
The late double could pay about, what do you think, $3?
The late pick 3 could pay about 290. That'll do it for our analysis of the Saturday card.
Here comes the
on
selections.
screen will be our picks. As always, I'm going to be up first here with my picks.
We're going to go to...
Where's our technical department?
There's Mike. There, I'm up.
Picks.
I got them.
Oh, you're up first. Sorry,
I got them. For some... I'm going to go first.
Yep, Mike goes first.
Elder statesman. 2, 5, and 3 in race number 1 for me. And race number 2, I went to the 6, Shayla's Rose, 6, 2, and 3. Race number 3, I went to the 6, Under Par over the 4 and 5. Race number 4, I went to the 3, Gold Girl over the 4 and 2. Race number 5, I went to the 10, Crafty Memory, 10, 5, and 9. Race number 6, the pretty favored late double. I'm going to go 4, 6, and 2. Followed up in race 7 with the 2-horse Total Defense, 2, 3, and 7.
On to my picks, there we go. Back in the first, I went to the 5, Access This over the 2 and the 1. In the second, I went to the 3, Hippie over the 2 and the 1. In the third, I went to the 5, Tiptoe over the 1 and the 3. In the fourth, number 4, Swagger Cat over the 3 and the 6. And I agree with Mike on the last 3. In the fifth, number 10, Crafty Memory over the 9 and the 3. In the sixth, number 4, Imposing Cat over the 6 and the 1. The Nightcap, number 2, Total Defense over the 7 and the 3.
All right, we do have
another race.
Another big race on the day, I guess. They call it the Preakness. Second jewel of the Triple Crown.
Yep, the running of the Preakness, of course. 2 weeks right after the Kentucky Derby. There's a great time of year for the horse racing. You go Derby, Preakness. 3 weeks from now, we'll be in the Belmont. I went right back to Justify. I loved him in the Derby. I thought he was just the best horse. And wow, did he ever prove it. Going the first half mile in 45. Just kept trucking on. Never had a buyer. He's 4 for 4. He's never had a buyer under 100. Just an unbelievable horse, as we mentioned, bred by our good friend here, John Gunther. Justify, the horse, obviously, that looks like he could upset him, would be Good Magic, who ran second in the Derby, but I don't know if he can, especially shortening back up. I think Justify's a handful. And 1 for 3rd, I threw in Bravazzo. Dwayne Lucas and Calumet Farms won this race a few years ago with Oxbow at a good price, and Lucas shows up with these big days. I went 7, 5, 8.
I agree. Justify's the horse to beat, and they're going to be tough to beat him. Good Magic is the only one that probably can. So your 7-5 looks pretty solid. I put the 2-horse Lone Sailor in for 3rd. He had a little bit of trouble in the Derby, and I thought he was worth following. 7, 5, and 2.
Mike Heads, the Lone Sailor.
Lone Sailor. 7, 5, and 2 for me in the Preakness. So I'll do it for this edition of Handicapper's Corner. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Once again, a reminder, first race at 1:50.
Yep.
We don't race
Take
Sunday.
Sunday off. You can all go to church.
No, you can go to church and then go to simulcast or come here to the Derby and watch some simulcasting. Next live card will be Monday, the Victoria Day holiday. So we do have 7 races on tap, 2 stakes races.
Older boys and older girls.
Yep, the older mares headed by Alliford Bay.
Yeah, trying to win 2 in a row, and the older boys by Blue
Law and Modern will hook up again, and that'll be interesting to see. But 2 stakes races on the Monday program. Well, that'll do it. As I mentioned, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Handicapper's Corner at the Derby Barn Grill.
I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do